to a new episode of Our Love Journey. Why are you laughing?
Because you barefoot. Thank you guys for showing so much love. Before we even start, don't forget, guys, to subscribe and comment and like.
Yeah.
Because
we need to get to 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and it's cut. It's just she, eh? But yeah, what are we doing today?
It's a Q&A. Remember, we do our monthly Q&As where you guys get to send us some questions. And I think just to clarify why we do this, Brendan and I get a lot of DMs. Even in the comment section, we get a lot of questions regarding conversations, and we can't exactly respond one by one. I mean, some people off ramp.
We can, but it would take the whole.
Yeah, it's exhausting. Time. It's not fun. It's not cute. It's not fun at all. So let's try keep the conversations and the questions as relatable to the podcast as possible.
Yeah, it's gotta have to do something with the love journey or a life journey or journey.
And today's episode is sponsored by MedShield, a wonderful medical aid that we are a part of, and they offer so much value, not only with medical aid, but they have a website where there's MedShield Mom, where there's advice on how to take care of your kids from pregnancy up until birth and just raising healthy families. So do check them out, and thank you, MedShield, for sponsoring our podcast. Last week's episode with Sia.
Yeah, guys, we're still recovering from that episode.
Time of my life.
It was incredible. Like when we say, you know what's crazy?
What?
Is because they came, is it a week before?
A week before, yeah.
They came a week before and we were supposed to shoot and we ended up not shooting.
Yeah, we just hung out.
And we just hung out and we died. And I remember thinking after they left, because
we ruined it.
We ruined the episode. Like, this was going to be such, if we captured this, it was going to be so fun because it was so real and whatnot. And then they came the following week and it was like, even what is worse. This? so I'm so glad that also it translated well, that you guys, got to feel like you were in the room. I feel like a lot of people felt like that, and also that it was like a very light but also very deep conversation.
A lot of people learned a lot. It's actually amazing. A lot of you said this has been your favorite episode of Our Love Journey, and
which
you know
is
what?
Great.
I agree.
Yeah, we've done a lot of these. So it's always nice when you put out a new one and people are like, "Oh, this is my favorite." I think do we have a review?
We do have a review, and also I think just to mention, like bringing couples on is always such a, I don't want to say risk, but it's such an important task on our end because we have to be responsible. So when we get a couple here and it dramatically impacts everyone, then we know that, okay, we're still on the right path. Yeah, we led.
Yeah, because it's one thing for us to put ourselves out there and say, okay, this is our love journey and whatnot. And we know what the risks are. We know what it comes with and some of the abuse that comes with that. That's been a big word this week. But when you bring some other people, you do want to protect them.
Absolutely.
And you don't just want to, but also we recognize that there's so many of you guys that understand and are really here to build a community, to grow together, to learn together. So it is also our responsibility to continue to find couples whose stories are unconventional, who it's not really about like celebrity couples.
No, not
whatnot.
even.
And I've seen people like in the comments,
like bring this, but it's not about that.
It's not about that. For us, we try to find regular people, and people that you can, and also it's gotta be people that we know personally. It's gotta be people that we have had some
trust.
Sort of relationship with, because like I said, you are taking on responsibility for how someone is perceived on the internet. So you don't want to just do it with someone that you just met that day or someone who you follow from afar. It's got to be someone that you personally know. Anyway, nakuluma shem.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right in that. We are responsible and we don't just put people for entertainment, but we know that we can learn, they can learn. And we're all still growing. I mean, we babies in marriage, 5 years marriage. So when we sit with other couples, we also always learning and being challenged.
Yes.
All right, let us read a review. This one is from Carthy.
Mm-hmm.
Nah?
Coffee.
Carthy. the gratitude of this channel. She gave us a 5-star. This entire channel has changed the way I see life and view relationships, not just romantic ones. I mean relationships in general. Love that. It's heightened my self-awareness to leaps I didn't even know I could tap into. I'm a beautiful, young and single, soon-to-be 30-year-old woman, and your latest offering with the Mohales has just confirmed what I've always been hearing God reiterate to me in our conversations. You have no idea what you've just confirmed in me. You guys are amazing. Keep sharing, keep loving, and keep spreading the word. Makwande. All my love, Kathy from Nelspruit.
Siyabonga Mkhaya.
I'm Kaya. Yes. Okay, I guess I'm Kaya Simpumalanga. Thank you so much, guys. In case you haven't noticed, the podcast or the video, we like to premiere it on a Wednesday night so we can live chat with you. I think it's always fun interacting and seeing your comments as it plays out. And then it goes live on podcast on Thursday. Yeah. So for those of you who listen morning in the car, it goes out on Thursday morning. Yeah. All right, let's get started with this week's Q&A. I got quite a lot of questions. We're gonna just
we'll try to get through as many as we can.
Yeah, we're not going to get all of them. How does having a helper affect your marriage?
Oh, having a helper is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Having help
is
amazing.
The best thing ever. Yeah, like, whatever sort of help, be it your parents,
For me, I don't know any other life, guys. This is the life I know. Even when I grew up, my mom has had a helper my entire life. Yeah. Okay, maybe not my entire life, but most of my life, I knew that, I live in a clean house, and for me, it's not even like a luxury. It's a necessity. Like, I would rather have a helper than there's things that I can do without.
Like what?
Like, I'd rather not have TV. I'd rather not have a television.
I actually agree.
I'd rather have a helper. Yeah. Like, there's so many things, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes, it gives us a chance to, between each other, it gives us a chance to have time for each other.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of issues that when people get married are solved, I think, by having someone who helps you.
Yeah.
So, because, like messiness, that sort of thing.
Don't have to deal with that.
At this point now, we both don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Which is great, because it means we don't have to think about that. That doesn't have to be doesn't have to be lurking in your mind whenever you're dealing with me. So, in terms of us as a couple, I mean, amazing. And also even as parents.
Yeah. I was going to touch on that. There's just, I think, and it might go against what everybody believes in or says, but as a conscious parent, I realize that I have limits and boundaries, right? And there's just certain things that I don't want to do all the time with my kids, and I believe it makes the relationship healthier. I know that's it's a dangerous statement. For example, in the mornings, during the week, I don't want to be the one bathing the kids and getting them ready for school. What I do want to do is be preparing breakfast and having breakfast with them and saying,
be there for the good times.
Yeah, so I make breakfast, say affirmations, and do their hair, But I can't imagine if I have to do everything, then nothing's fun anymore, because it just becomes a chore. And I think when we don't have help, even in our relationship, life becomes a chore, because we're no longer focusing on, hey, do you want to do something? It's, I need to pack my cupboards. Who's washing dishes, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's still things we do together, like we cook together, which we enjoy, but then we don't have to deal with the dishes, So I think it's just a convenient need in life, and it's positive, especially when you have the right person. And to have the right person, you have to be the right person too, so that you can respect someone who's in your house and pay them well.
Yeah. I mean, that's another part also.
People don't want to pay their helpers and then they go shop. But there's
also so many people who do need jobs, and I feel like but to touch on what you were saying about the kids stuff in the morning, is that also, guys, like, you are one person or we are two people. There's only so much that we can do. So without help, yes, we can get the kids ready for school, but we can't have devotion time with the kids. We can't maybe make them breakfast every morning. We can't do certain things that we think add more value to their existence and to our relationship with them. So I think it's a small price to pay to be able to add those things. And that's what help does. It allows you to do more than what you could have done on your own strength.
And just to make everything quality. How do you support a partner who is struggling financially, spiritually, and mentally?
Hey. I think the question should be, can you?
Yeah.
Can you support someone who's struggling physically, financially, and mentally?
I think even, especially if you're not married.
Financially and mentally.
If you're not married, you need to ask yourself, how important is this relationship to you? Do you have the ability and do you want to? When you're married, I think it's a completely different story, because we will all go through those phases. But before you're married and that person's going through all of that at once, you can...
I think, I wouldn't say don't try, because that goes against everything we stand for. Yeah. You should obviously try. I think, though, you should consider, like I said, take cues from the person that you are supporting.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean, is it helping? Is what you're doing helping? Are they doing their work?
Their part.
Are they doing the work to dig themselves out of whatever struggles they're dealing with?
Yeah.
Because then that's okay. Like, there's times when, and I think you can attest, where I've struggled, but not for a lack of trying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just that season. Same thing with you.
Same.
Like, there was times when you were cleaning, people's houses and toilets. You understand?
Why do you have to mention toilets?
I'm just saying, Guti, like, that's
true.
It wasn't ideal.
It
for
happens.
You,
Everyone will go through some sort of struggle. Yeah.
But I would look at you and you'd come back home and you would be, energized to turn things around. You'd be hopeful. You'd be working on a new business. Guys, Mpumi has started a lot of businesses, but you'd be working on a new business or a new company.
Yeah.
And so I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I can look at you and be like, yo, Lomuntu, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But you understand?
They're showing up.
So now if you're saying spiritually, financially, and mentally, that means mentally they have no drive. Spiritually, they have no motivation.
So of course it's going to tap into finances.
Of course, but also then it's just like it's very hard.
It is very hard.
It's very hard.
I
think you need to at least be having one out of the three to have a good fighting chance. I think if you're spiritually fine, then you can see beyond the struggle. And I think even if you're mentally fine, then you can use willpower to drag yourself out. But if those two things, I
think also what's important before any decision making is perhaps having a conversation, asking the person, how can I help you? Would you like me to help you? Because there's people who genuinely need help, but they don't know where to start. And that person you can at least communicate. And then there's people who just don't want help and who just want to be there. And unfortunately, you cannot help someone who is not ready to receive help.
Yeah. I think the question was support. So I think getting behind what someone is doing, again, you need to decide if you think it's working.
How do you deal with your partner? Well, this one is, how do you deal with hubby being away with the guys work and you having to stay home with the kids? And I picked this one specifically. I try not to always answer personal questions, but I picked this one specifically because we're a team. So there's no ubaba uyahamba, daddy's gonna go, mommy stays with the kids. Sometimes I'm gone and you're with the kids, but we go back to that first question, there's help, or sometimes you're away and I'm with the kids, but there's help. And because we've got 2 under 2, we've made it a point that if I'm away, you're not alone with the kids. You either
2 under 4.
2 under 4. Yeah, 2 under 4. Yo, am I still at 2 under 2?
I know.
2 under 4. Now. So, for example, if I'm away for a weekend, you will probably go to your parents' house with the kids, or my parents' house with the kids, or my sister-in-law, and vice versa. So we have a community of people because kids are a lot.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to this thing. People always say the father is babysitting the kids, and I think the idea is that you have to not see it as babysitting.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like even mothers can see it like that. When you leave the children with them and they have to take care of the kids, essentially it becomes babysitting, right? Because you're just watching them for that weekend. But I think what we try to do is we look at it as, oh wow, we get to spend time with the kids.
Yeah.
So if Mpumi is going somewhere or I'm going somewhere, Mpumi will then look at
what can I do with the kids?
What can I do with the kids this weekend?
Yeah.
What can we do that's fun? Mm-hmm. Who can we visit? Mm-hmm. Who can we call to come play with us? Mm-hmm. That sort of thing. So that's how we deal with it, is that we are very conscious about it, so it's intentional. Everything, we know that this is happening. I think sometimes it's maybe there's the conversation is not even had. Like people don't even, or I feel like maybe some partners will just expect the other partner, because I'm going there, I'm going to make money for our family. They just expect that the other partner is fine with handling kids. And like you said, if you don't have help, it can become
frustrating.
It's very frustrating, because even with help, it gets frustrating. So I think the idea, or what we advocate for, is be intentional about what you're then going to do when you are with your kids.
Yeah, and just be expressive. Like Brennan said, I think it's important how you emphasize that it's not about, oh, you're gone, now what? But it's okay, this is an opportunity for me to spend time with the kids outside us. So you as a father have a relationship with your kids, I as a mother have a relationship with my kids, and then together as parents we have a relationship.
That's so important
with our kids. Yeah. How do you go about making new friends in your adulthood? This is kind of a constant one, I think. Obviously people see that we have some friends and it looks really fun, which it is fun, but it's also not without some
there's work.
It takes a lot of work and intention. Personally, I just reached out to people who I thought I had stuff in common with, invited them over for lunch. We had lunch, and then some relationships grew, some didn't. But the ones that did grow, it's because both parties wanted to be there and there's work behind it. And when there's conflict, we sort it out. So it's not like we're just cruising through friendship. Even when there's conflict, we've made a decision that this is what we want to do.
Yeah, I think it's value, man. I just always think at this stage of my life, I'm not trying to just have
people around you.
Yeah, like I'm not just trying to have an entourage. Like I'm not impressed by just having people just being around, just, you know, maybe just praising me, just Brendan praising me the whole time. It's great in theory, but that's not what I want. I want value. I want people who are valuable, people who add value in my life, and people who I can add value in their life.
Yeah, that's so important.
And so I think when you find someone like that, naturally you gravitate towards those people, but then also the grass grows where you water it.
Yep.
So then you invest in those relationships. So you make an effort to make sure that those relationships keep going, that you are being the kind of friend that you would like them to be to you, or that they are already being to you. So yeah, I think for me, it's just, I mean, you meet people everywhere, right? If you in any industry, you meet people. If you, like whatever job you do, there's people in that world.
Yeah, invite them for coffee.
You know what I mean? Like, or you meet up, you have small talk. It's just that sometimes, I think even me before, like I wouldn't invest in it.
Yeah.
So, but then there's certain people where you cannot deny that this person is valuable.
Yeah, I want them
and
around.
Their presence in my life makes me a better person. It could be in anything. Maybe it makes me more informed with sports.
Yeah.
Maybe it makes me more informed with what's the latest worship song.
Oh, I laugh more.
Yeah. Or it's even deep. Or maybe they really, they're sort of a mentor for me.
Yeah.
So it's different levels of value, but it's value nonetheless. And so for me, I look at that stuff and I'm like, okay, this person, every time. So I intentionally try to say, okay, I need to be making sure that I keep this networking, this connection going. And and essentially then you have a friendship that's running now off momentum.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to mention that with adult friendships, it's not like when we were kids and all we had to worry about was passing an exam and what mom is cooking in the evening. But with adult friendships, we need to recognize that people have responsibilities, right? And you're just a part of their lives. So sometimes friendships don't work out in adulthood because we want one person to be our everything. The same way, even in relationships and love relationships, we want our husbands or our wives to be our everything, and that is simply a lot to ask from someone. So it's important to distinguish what value a person adds and what value you add, so that if they maybe not at every soccer game your child has, you understand that that's not what the role they play in your life. You know, maybe their role is every Monday they call you up to say, hey, how's work? Have you got this in order? Can we meet up? Things like that. So I think just understanding that.
Definitely.
Now, when is Our Love Journey original series? I missed that.
When is it, or where is it?
I guess when is it? What does that mean? I wanted to unpack that, because when we say original series, do we mean that something cannot evolve, or
no. So I think they just specifically talking about
how we started out,
the way it started, like that style of the show, right?
Okay.
Where it was kind of like almost like a documentary,
yeah,
where we had people were interviewing multiple couples,
yeah,
asking them the exact same question. And so the story with that, guys, is it's really, really cool. And we're so happy that we did it. But we did find that, and I guess maybe it's our fault. Like sometimes I think about it, I'm like, it's our fault because it shouldn't matter. But we did find that a lot of people started to do a similar concept.
Yeah.
And so for us, it felt like doing, because we did 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We did the first one and then we did the second one. And I think it continued to grow. It was really, really great. Like I still watch them and I'm glad that they're there.
Yeah.
But I did find that it just felt like we are trying to do this thing and we're trying to capitalize on this concept, which wasn't original to us, but in the way that we did it, we felt like we brought enough originality for it to be its own thing. But we felt like, or I personally felt like, I was just seeing a lot of it from other creatives or other creators. And so it just felt like there wasn't a need for it anymore.
There we go.
In that way.
Yes.
Like I didn't feel like there's a need for us to shoot another series about couples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd go onto YouTube and there's just like a million series
someone's
about
already covering that need.
couples.
Yeah.
So it just felt like a redundancy issue.
Yeah.
So I was just like, it's okay. We don't have to do it that way. But what we can do is continue to tell our love journey and occasionally have couples in a different setting, which is now a podcast setting, which I find is more free, more relaxed for us to have conversations. And those couples it basically gets to be more focused on a certain a certain topic. So that's what happened with that. But like, you can speak about the evolution of it.
Yeah, I think we are personally, I'm an evolver. Like I love starting things, but I don't like I think my goal in life or my purpose in life is not to stay where I started, right? So we start things, launch things, serve the need there, but when the need is gone, there's no need to stay there anymore. You move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it was just time to evolve with our love journey. We're very intuition, spirit led, and so whatever we do, we need to always make sure we are still aligned. Just because it's still getting views, it doesn't mean that's what we're supposed to still be doing, right? Just because it's a good idea, it doesn't mean it's a God idea. So and I'm reading that is so cheesy, and I'm reading The Alchemist, and it's just so interesting. And at the part where it talks about the heart is always speaking, right? But eventually you stop listening to it, and then that's when people no longer move or no longer grow. So for us, it's very important that we're sensitive to what's next. Are we supposed to be doing this or not? And right now, this is what we're called to do, and this is what feels natural. And when we have couples, it's very intentional, but it's not a numbers game or a popularity game anymore.
Exactly. So I mean, I hope that answers the question. But it's not like we I don't know how to put it, but like I hope we put it properly. But like basically, it's what Mpumi was saying, is that it just grew. It grew into something else. Yeah. And we very much open to it, to what it wants to be. Yeah. Because we treat our careers and our gift as
what it wants to be.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not like we don't know everything. Yeah. And we open to being led by God to say, this is where I want you to be. So you need to be open to say, okay, maybe this was for a period and for a season, and now this is the new thing. And it's like a growth. It's a growth thing.
Yeah. Okay. And I think this is also applicable in careers, in anything you're doing, like even in relationships. Like, don't stay where you're no longer needed.
Yeah. And if it doesn't feel authentic to you anymore, if it feels like you're just doing it because this is what you do, then maybe start re-looking at, those mechanics. Kuti, maybe I've missed something. Maybe it's not touching me the way it's supposed to, the way it used to. So you kind of tweak it to find that place where you feel the purpose in what you're doing.
Yeah. You all have a separate, intimate relationship with God. How do you blend your relationship with God when married?
I would say it's respect, and it's, even though you have different relationships with God individually, you have to have some relationship with God together.
Yeah.
But in that being said, I do think it's kind of respecting the other person's walk with God, and recognizing that it's different.
Yeah.
That kind of, it will help you be able to reconcile with your own walk, and to be able to be more, like I said, I think you need to be more authentic with your walk with God, because that's the only way a walk with God really works, is if it's authentic to you. But in the question of how it's blended in a relationship or in a marriage, I do think it's important to have a relationship together where the marriage has a relationship with God, if that makes sense. Because I do feel like the marriage does become its own personality.
Yes, that's
so good. It's good to be aware of that the marriage in itself has a personality, and then we individually have, that's why the two become one. And so that one is that personality that I think needs to have its own relationship with God. That's why we do stuff like family vision goals. We do, there's certain fasts that we'll do together, either beginning of the year or sometimes monthly, depending on the time. But there's certain things that we do together as a couple to kind of grow that relationship with God.
Yeah, but I absolutely agree with you. And just to highlight, for the most part, your individual with God is very important. My individual walk with God is important, so that the marriage can have a walk with God. Otherwise, it becomes a burden for someone else if we now have to take on the way I do spirituality. So I think it's important in a relationship to allow that freedom of for someone to have their own connection with God, but then we also still come together, and so that we make sure that we've got the same foundation, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, specifically for married women, is there a way in which we are expected to dress?
Just for women?
I guess it's for specifically for married women. I personally don't think so. Emphasis on personally. I don't think so. I just think you need to be comfortable, and you need to be okay. And also, just when you go to spaces, like, what is it that you're hoping to achieve? You know, because sometimes you wear something and you can feel you're uncomfortable, you're drawing the wrong attention, and that can make you uncomfortable. But for the most part, I think you need to be the one. And this is when we say, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, listen to the Holy Spirit. When you stand in the mirror, how do you feel? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel excited? Whether it's pants, a short skirt, or whatever. I mean, when I was in Botswana, a lady stood up and she was basically she looked like she was in a lot of pain, right? And she asked, and she said, how am I such a free Christian? Because she had a dress picked out that she bought specifically for the event, and then she put it on, and then it just felt like it was hugging her body a little too much. And I'm looking at her body, I'm like, you've got the most beautiful body, right? And then she was wearing a very loose and baggy outfit. And she said, and now I'm no longer so excited, and I keep thinking that had I worn my outfit, I would have been more excited. It was really nice. And I said, okay, I understand. Obviously talked through it. And then I said, okay, but so why did you not wear it? And he said, they're gonna say, the Christian people, or they are gonna say you're not presentable. And I said, okay, who's they? Like, can you name they or them? And all this to get to that, sometimes we have this imaginary audience, and yes, people talk, but they'll talk for 5 seconds and move on and talk about the next thing. But we have this imaginary thing where we feel like there's an eye just looking at us the whole time to control us and to tell us how we should be. But the most important thing is that you should be comfortable. And sometimes we rob ourselves of being fashionable or enjoying moments or being part of something because there's a dogma. There's these rules that are set that you're supposed to dress like this and supposed to dress like this. And honestly, I think for me also, in my marriage home, my in-laws, when I got there, I was told I could wear whatever. And my sister-in-law wears leggings. She wears shorts. Buntle lives in a bikini. You can literally call her outfit in like little crops. And they said the way the sisters,
I love you, Buntle.
the way the sisters of the house dress and behave is the same way I can be. And I think it's just high time as mothers, because I know we've got older women who watch this, that we just allow women to just be themselves. Yeah.
Look, there's only so much I can say, but I do know that there is a part of it that even with guys, like especially like in church, like there was always like this idea of like suit, like even when you're like young, like like 12-year-old and it's hot summer's day, but like I think at the end, what Mpumi said is so, like, it's key, man. Be comfortable.
Be comfortable.
If that's who you are. If that's your brand.
Listen.
Go for it.
Listen.
Like, Harvey Specter, go for it. But, like, if it's not, then why who's tired? Like, at the end of the day, and I mean, for us, I think it really freed us to be, like, you have to have, like I said, your relationship with God's gotta be authentic.
Yeah.
It can't be put on, not even on a physical clothing level. Like, I shouldn't feel the need to look a certain way to
feel
be
closer to God.
To feel closer to God, or to feel like I'm actually making an effort for God. Because God knows my heart.
Yeah.
He knows when I'm making an effort for Him. He knows when I'm truly making an effort. And so for me, it's just comfort, man. Like, if you like clothes, do what you love, like do what you like. Like Mpumi said, yes, I mean there's certain things now as feel like let's keep us young pinches, but like it's just be comfortable. And if you could go that whole day comfortably in that outfit, then I think you're good,
just
man.
Do you, boo?
And if you want to rock a hot sexy outfit, like go for it.
Like
if you have the body, if you like Mrs. Mom, have been working out for 2-3 years. I mean,
have you
guys seen my wife's legs? Like, it's actually a crime for her to cover them up. Like at this point, I'm just like, what are you even doing? Because it's beautiful and I love it, and you confident, and she used to play netball. She always says she's got these netball legs. You see when they do that thing, so she's got those quads from all that movement. But like. Yeah, man. Like, it's not that deep.
Yeah. And I think to just kind of end off the podcast, I love where you took it. The partner you choose matters. Because, specifically because you asked, what do you wear as a married woman? If my husband is constantly saying, don't wear this, don't wear that, don't wear that, it shifts my confidence. It shifts my comfort. It shifts the way I see myself. So it's very important to be married or to be with someone who loves you as you are and who wants you to grow into the best version of you. Because sometimes we get married and we create this image that we want people to fit into, which is normal, but it's not fair, right? You want someone to be their best self.
Yeah, and I think that being said, fellas, like, if your wife asks you, if pirates ingadlali, it's something to look into, because I found that.
Do you want to tell the grey story, the grey tracksuit story?
So I have these tracksuits that I really like, and they're so comfortable. So I guess what we're saying is there's a balance that needs to be achieved here. But I used to live in those tracksuits, like tracksuits. It's the first thing I want to be in because I can breathe. Like I can feel good. Today I'm free. But like Mpumi did not like it. So I had to start like making an effort, dressing up. But I also see like it builds my confidence, makes my life better. So
more productive. But in those tracksuits, all you want to do is just make coffee and walk around.
So
and
make coffee and scroll, those are my scrolling pants. But like, like it's the same thing. I know that there's some guys that, that t-shirts, Chiefs hasn't even worn it in 5 years.
And you just
the players don't even wear that t-shirt anymore.
And now we're going out as friends when
let's retire it. So listen to your wives, make an effort. I think more than anything when it comes to dressing up, I'd say make an effort.
Make an effort,
Like, I wouldn't say don't wear this. I'd say make an effort. Be intentional in what you choose to wear.
Yeah.
You know, so
and honest. And now that you're saying that, I didn't say wear this. I just said, hey, maybe don't wear the
so eventually
make an effort.
Yes.
I'm not choosing your clothes, but make an
pants,
effort.
I need to wear them like Jerry Lorenzo.
Yeah, like get some nice
wear them
track
like
pants.
Kanye would wear those sweatpants. Don't just wear sweatpants. Man. Like make an effort. So I think that becomes the thing. I'm more interested in people making an effort than what exactly they're wearing.
Yeah, and I think coming out from lockdown, we all had a sense of letting go of ourselves. It's just important to keep. I always watch Kirk Franklin and his wife, and they obviously like PDA on another level. Tammy, and so she actually did a post, and she was like, working out for him and working out for myself. And that's just something important in a relationship, that you need to be considerate of your partner. You want to be attractive for each other. You want to keep it exciting, man. Make an effort.
Now fucking nude, man.
JJ, like do the things. Ebusuku. I always put perfume when I go to bed. Like look nice, look cute. Look cute, make an effort, but your way. Don't be dictated on how you're supposed to look. Do it your way. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and don't forget to check out MedShield if you have any medical aid needs. They have 8 different covers that cover different families. Whatever your needs are, there's a cover for you. We love you. God bless.
This is our journey. This is our love story. This is our journey.